Why, hello there, everyone. My name is Puffingfish, and welcome back to another episode of CreepyCraft. It is episode 11, if I do recall that correctly. And yeah, guys, today we're starting things off in my new base. We got the super smelter, we got the iron farm, and we also have, of course, our storage system and a little bit of terraforming going on already. I've been working a little bit off camera, trying to tidy stuff up here. And if we go this way, we can go and see that we actually have, an underground portion that I've actually dug out a huge portion of and started work on a villager holding cell. And I'm gonna actually not use iron. I just realized it's probably not the best use of iron. But yeah, I'm gonna go off of this and use some white concrete probably, and just completely continue this. I might even do black. That might be cool, having the black in the back. That could be really cool. Anyways, enough of me talking about random stuff. Yeah, today, guys, is episode 11, like I said, and yeah, that super smelter we built a while ago, but we actually haven't used it because we don't have fuel. And I didn't really want to make a fuel thing yet, but today I'm feeling it. I really think we should start building our fuel system. So let's see if this system works. Come on, come on. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Alrighty. And if we go in here, we should have ourselves some. Well, actually, first off, I'm gonna need to sleep soon. So I think in miscellaneous, or no, not wool. Yeah, this one has some beds. Let's go ahead and plop down a bed here. Alrighty. And yeah, we're also going to need some blocks because we're going to be building some cool stuff here today. Alrighty, guys. So this is the design I have kind of constructed. Basically, it's just kind of, yeah, if you update one of these guys, it'll pretty much it'll do most of them. So since there's a 15 block limit, if you do this very edge one, it'll do most of them up to there. But since we have an observer every kelp block, this really isn't an issue. But yeah, so this doesn't really look like a water bat, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a good design. And so instead of having just like a few of these, since they come out so much, it's gonna be like a giant V. Which is going to be an interesting looking farm, but I don't know how I'm going to decorate it yet. So I was thinking about just making like some sort of multiple V's going up a skyscraper, right? That could be pretty cool. There's also other things I could do. I'm going to just start building and constructing this and see kind of where it takes me. It's very piston and observer heavy, so yeah, it's going to be pretty tough to get these things going properly. But I think all in all, this whole flat area is going to turn into a bunch of farms. Just because it just really kind of lends itself after I flattened it. It's like a really nice spot. And eventually we'll probably just flatten this entire area, to be honest. And make some paths throughout, just like, yeah. But I want to make it look like an industrial setting. So, yeah. Anyways, as you can see, the cool thing about this is the kelp can be planted on top of this observer. So that means that there's going to be blocks right here, right? And of course I have a bunch of stone, so this isn't really, the bricks are just completely fine. And then this is where the next layer of pistons is going to be, right? So, right there. And so, and then of course we're going to have observers over here, but we have to come around here and place a layer of blocks behind it. And this is where redstone is going to go. But first we actually need to place in our observers because they have to be facing towards this way. So, yep, basically, boom. There we go. And then we just place a bunch of redstone dust here. And it's 20 of everything. Every 20 pistons and observers per layer here. So this actually will be filled with water, of course, because it's going to be kelp. But you can see how quickly this thing is just going to go out. So that's why I'm thinking of instead doing like one here and then one here and then one here and then one here, right? Keeping it a little bit lower and making it look like one of those really large and not too tall industrial buildings. That could be one thing we could do. Another thing we could do, I'm not sure, but the water vats unfortunately aren't going to be there, but it wouldn't really make much sense having the water vats here anyways, because there's that giant mountain there with water springs, which I think, what we could do is make some sort of water redirection into like some sort of aqueduct, and it's going to go all sorts of over the places. Gonna be really cool. So I'm gonna get to building this, guys. I think I've been talking way too much in this recording. I'm gonna go ahead and get to building this, so I'll see you guys when it's done. Alrighty, guys, so I finally gotten the kelp farm to work pretty well here. Most things, yeah, seem to make their way up here, and I've made this block buffer so that they don't get caught on the hopper's hitbox. So they'll all get into the hopper there. Unfortunately, they kind of sink down, and some of them might despawn if they take too long, which is a little bit unfortunate, but this way we can basically get everything we need. And as you can see, the kelp is just moving and moving and moving all throughout this thing. It's making way into these hoppers here, and then that's going to come down into this building which I constructed. It's a pretty big building because I'm planning on putting some farms in here, but a lot of people were thinking that, or actually I was just thinking that I don't know what the block pallet's going to be, but I kind of figured this one out. This one's kind of my tester block palette. I think this block palette looks really nice together, especially with kind of the accents of this and the brick. The brick as an accent is much better than it being a more prominent block, I think. Anyways, and you're probably really interested in what the heck is going on top of here. So if I get a little bit of a height, going, this is like a smokestack billowing like smoke, because this is like a factory building, but it doesn't look quite right yet. So I put up these scaffoldings to make it look kind of like a processing plant, area, and underneath would be a bit more of the like computers and stuff. You know how they have computers controlling stuff, valves and everything. But what I'm not too sure about is just kind of just this. It just doesn't look right yet. Yeah, in my opinion, I feel like it's just there's not enough. Like, I think what we should do is have a couple tubs of water, like vats, I guess, like next to it. Get rid of those ones, and then have like some sort of pipe going into that instead of it being, whatever. Because these were my attempts on doing like some steel vats, but they really don't look too good. Anyways, this is kind of the idea for this thing. I'm gonna work on this another time because, guys, I want to move on into a little bit of a different project already. So here in my creative testing world, a bunch of stuff in here, but this is what we're interested in right here. So if you can't tell already, we are using some smokers, and smokers are really cool because they will basically smelt the kelp double as fast as otherwise. So what am I gonna do? Well, basically what's gonna happen is we can get ourselves a basically the way this works is we're gonna have a minecart like so, and it's gonna go down here, and basically boom, there we go, boom. As you can see, it'll just go around and around and around. But right here is actually the cool spot, is we have detector rail right here. Okay, so every time the minecart goes across this detector rail, it's going to get activated, which will give us a nice output to dispense something, right? There we go, see? And as you can see, if we filled this up with something, we get an item every time, right? So basically what we want to do is have a 20 item counter. So if we put an item counter right here, we literally won't have to worry, because this will actually go around a perfect amount of times to distribute the items and then come back. So what will happen is it will power this here, or it should. Yeah, right here it should be unpowered now, and then it will go up here and get more items. And basically the output from this, when it gets 20 items, it will turn this off, and then it will basically, when this is ready to go again, it will turn this back on again, and then this will be sent off like so. Of course this will actually have to be that. And then, yeah, like I said, this will be powered. Boom. And this will be unpowered, obviously. So there we go. Basically, the mechanic we're using is kind of an item counter, which is just going to go around this thing over and over and over again. It's pretty simple. It should get the job done. I'll see you guys once I have most of this built up on the server. Alrighty, guys. So with some logic fiddling and fuddling here, I have actually got this thing to work out. So basically, this thing gets filled up. And so when this thing is filled up, it has 320 items, which means it would need to do 20 passes for it to actually fill these up. And yeah, I've just been testing it, so stuff has been filling up. Yep, we're good. And this is only 5. Okay, I'm confident just to leave this running for a little bit now. I'm going to go into my hidey hole here. Just do that, and then that. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys, so after a bunch of messing around, after I AFK'd it a little bit, we are having a bunch of kelp through here, and I set up a little bit of a kelp storage. So basically the kelp's going to come into all these chests. We have a huge buffer here. We should be able to keep it, you know, fairly good. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the entrance to the building be like right here. We're going to come into a room here, which is just going to have the chests, and then a door here into the maintenance room. And then here is going to be another maintenance room, but we're also going to have like a, we're going to have a pressure plate right about here, and there's going to retract a block and be water. We're going to throw all the kelp blocks in there, and we're going to set up a pipeline that goes underground, and then it merges right outside of this building, and then goes to either ends of the super smelter. But we have to figure out 2 ways. We're going to need 2 ways that we can actually split. We're going to have to figure out how to split the items, so we have to split it. So I was thinking I would instead just push it into, like, have a chest here, and then put it all into this chest, and then I'll have 2 hoppers, each one going different ways, and then have the 2 lines come out either side. I think that might be the way to go. But for now, guys, this is pretty successful, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with the way this area turned out. And yeah, this system I haven't had any issues with. It's been filling up. Oh, I guess that's a lie. So yeah, the system finally got here. It caught up finally. So yeah, I think it might be worth just turning the system off, because yeah, I have no idea. I didn't think it would actually be that quick, but yeah, it looks like that system's gonna be able to handle at least 2 more of these farms. But yeah, so it just seems like, yeah, it's been going for a while, but yeah, as you can see, it's still catching up, and it's gonna be filling up that storage. But yeah, like I said, this seems to not be cutting it, so I think it might be worth probably hooking up another one there, I'd say. And then let's see, really all we got to do, I think we'll make 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here, right? I think that might be the way to go. And have all that go into the same hopper line, because we already have that all hooked up. I think having the water coming out here is pretty cool. It didn't have to, but I think it looks pretty cool. um, but yeah, that sucks. We're gonna need to, in order to catch up with the new, with that smelter, it's super fast, so we don't really have a huge buffer, unfortunately. I thought this would definitely overwhelm it, but no. I'm guessing if these were regular furnaces, it would, because yeah, as you can see here, it's not filling up even that fast at all. Like, yeah. So yeah, I guess we don't have that big of an issue. And if you're wondering what all these hoppers are doing, so basically in these two hoppers, I take an output and it goes in here, so we get like triple speed filling of this hopper here, because that way when it does buffer, or when we do get a lot of kelp, it'll fill these hoppers up in this chest and slowly back up into this chest, which I'm gonna have chests running up the side, hopefully. But yeah, it sucks that we need to build more of these, but luckily we have a data pack that allows us to get a bunch of quartz. So or quartz from villagers, so we're not gonna have to craft these observers without having to mine too much, because yeah, we can uncraft quartz, which allows us to do stuff. So yeah, here we go. The kelp is going up here, and it seems to all be funneling down into this, which is great, because that way we can work on a, yeah, anyways guys, I spent too much time talking about stuff. I think really that is actually going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please leave feedback on the aesthetics of this building. Should I have the scaffolding? I feel like it might not be necessary if we add some vats and maybe some water streams going all over the place. But also I think it adds something to it. Like, I think the scaffolding is something that I like. And also, should we add one of these right here as well? Should we have two of them? Those are my two questions for you guys. Oh, and also, name my wings. Anyways, see you later. Goodbye.